Through the torch of reason, we are able to see new opportunities for all to share more equitable and inclusive future irrespective of difference. We are able to share the light of culture, spirit, and diversity that we are not disillusioned by dark intangible abstract developments. Led by women and the young, our progress is measured by transformations from poverty to reasonable standards of living. We have set our tasks on green energy and climate change for a better health and safety for our children. Socialism is an economic and political system predicated on social ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. This ownership, often administered by the state on behalf of the community, aims to prioritize collective welfare over private profit. The central objective of socialism is to rectify systemic inequalities and achieve a greater degree of social and economic justice. Key industries and resources such as healthcare, energy, and public transportation are owned or heavily regulated by the public to ensure universal access. Economic activity is guided by state planning to meet the defined needs of the population, moving beyond the profit motive that drives capitalist markets. Progressive taxation and robust social welfare programs are employed to reduce extreme income inequality and fund essential public services. Variants of socialism. Democratic socialism, advocates for achieving social ownership through existing democratic processes and gradual reform, combining political democracy with a socialized economy. Social democracy operates within a capitalist framework, using regulation and welfare states to mitigate its excesses and promote social justice, without seeking to abolish private ownership of capital. Marxism-Leninism, a revolutionary ideology that emphasizes a vanguard party leading the overthrow of the capitalist state. It is important to note that this is not the variant under primary discussion here. Libertarian socialism envisions a decentralized society with direct democracy and cooperative management, seeking to abolish all unjust hierarchies. Critique. A fundamental divide between socialism and right-wing capitalism lies in the analysis of inequality. Capitalist narratives often attribute the disadvantaged position of diverse groups, based on ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, etc., to individual choices or so-called wokeness. Socialism, in contrast, identifies this as a systemic feature of capitalism, which historically creates and exploits social hierarchies for economic gain. When marginalized groups demand state-led equity, they are not asking for special treatment but for rectification of historical and ongoing systemic discrimination. Critics who dismiss these demands often whitewash the violent and exploitative history of colonialism and capitalism, which created these very disparities. Crisis of modern capitalism. Capitalism is currently exhibiting profound crises. In nations like the United States, a new oligarchic class, rooted in technology and finance, has emerged. This elite enriches itself by impoverishing the traditional working class through corporate restructuring and the displacement of labor via automation and AI. The result is a growing population of workers rendered redundant, creating a new and expanding precariat. This new working class comprising technical workers, gig economy laborers, and the underemployed is the agent of change. The socialist goal is to shift economic power from shareholder value to real production and consumption that benefits the masses. By empowering this new class with purchasing power and stable employment, we can regenerate a stagnant economy. The current elite class is incapable of stabilizing society, as its model relies on perpetual inequality. The logical progression is toward a more advanced, technologically integrated economy managed for the benefit of all. Socialism provides the framework for this transition, uprooting the elite class to establish a multidimensional economic system where every individual, irrespective of identity, can participate fully and equally. It is no surprise that this movement for a more equitable future is being led powerfully by the dynamism of women and youth. Description. Socialism presents a comprehensive alternative to capitalism, defined by its core principle of social ownership over the means of production, distribution, and exchange. This system seeks to replace the profit motive with a focus on collective welfare, using state planning and public control of key industries to rectify systemic inequalities and achieve genuine social and economic justice. It directly challenges the capitalist narrative that blames inequality on individual failings, instead identifying it as an inherent feature of a system that creates and exploits social hierarchies. The text argues that modern capitalism is in a state of profound crisis, marked by the rise of a new oligarchic class that enriches itself by impoverishing a growing precariat through automation and corporate restructuring. Socialism is framed as the necessary framework to empower this new working class, shift economic power from shareholders to the masses, and build a technologically advanced economy managed for the benefit of all, a movement powerfully led by women and youth.